On top of everything else that seemed to want to happen this year, a supercell rolling by the house as tornado warnings blared on our phones was the last thing anyone wanted. In Calgary, it's been a particularly wet summer, so when the skies finally cleared, I was left with a deep desire to explore, even if just to see that the world was still there. It was. No tornado touched down, and everyone was safe. But where can one go when there's not a lot of places to go? To fight the stir-crazies and at least satisfy some tiny degree of wanderlust, I printed out a map of little free libraries, the public boxes where you can take or leave books for free. It turns out they're practically everywhere, which is why today we're heading to Kensington. The one in Calgary, not London. The telephone booth isn't helping. Hey look, the one in Calgary has a giant chip. Now, Kensington is the main road lined with businesses. The deeper community, Hillhurst and Sunnyside, is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Calgary. Many houses and buildings are nearly 100 years old. Buildings like the Plaza, the oldest operating movie theater in Calgary since 1935. Or Hayden Block, which has been around since 1912. An old Masonic lodge built in 1926 is now a notable coffee shop. Or how about this building, which was the first Starbucks in Calgary? It only closed last year. I've always loved the little tiny TARDIS they have on the side, constructed out of an old traffic signaling box. It's not a little free library, though. No, our first library is just down the road. The beauty of little free libraries is that each one is unique, custom painted by whomever brought the kit and registered the location. This one is adorned with talkative birds, which is simple, inviting, comfortable. It looks good. While I usually can find something, nothing's catching me today. Though if you hurry, you may still find the entire Twilight Saga, if that's your thing. Moving down a ways and a couple streets over brings us to this lovely spot, Library 2, which even has a bench for your reading pleasure. On the sides are lovely paintings of a couple of dogs and a nice cat enjoying a sit-down. It's a pretty cozy looking box, but of course we are here to look inside. Are there any books? No, not really. Not for me anyway. Onwards to the next box. We're going to go down the street, way down the street, to box number 3. Hey look, a dinosaur holding a Canadian flag with a face mask. Alright, this next library is built into the fence, which makes me a little uncomfortable because I have to step onto their property to access it. It's clearly marked, and a step or two among neighbors is likely okay. A bit of weather has worn out this material, whatever it is, and at least the books look protected. Again, there's not much drawing my interest. A short hop down the street and across the main road brings us to the Hillhurst Sunnyside Community Association, which usually has a flea market here on weekends. It also has this lovely mural, painted with musicians, chickens, and even this little girl protesting with a middle finger sign to former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Interesting. Now let's go look at the library, which is this colorful little box labeled just for kids, featuring characters from stories that I've read to my own children. If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, Fly Guy, Mo Willems' Pigeon, and the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I love this box just for its decor. It's very well done. The inside is a bit of a mess, however. There wasn't a lot for kids. I don't think people are reading the instructions. Zipping all the way over to 10th Street brings us towards Another Dimension Comics, one of the city's most well-stocked shops. They have a Hulk. You can find really good murals and street art in this area too. One street over, located next to the Sunnyside station, is a quaint library which doubles as a flower box, greeting readers with the equivalent of hobbits arriving for a stay in Rivendell. Some real care has gone into this library. There's plants, branches, they even have flagstones to prevent wear. The people who own the house have an old car with this wind contraption attached. I'd show you the house as it's even more eclectic, but won't out of respect for their privacy. The next little free library was a doozy to find. The map had it labeled near a bus stop, which is next to the Container Art Park, which is used as an open-air public art and performance space. For the library, I couldn't find it anywhere and was starting to feel a little down. I'd walk past it over and over again. There it is, an old newspaper box. I should have read the front. It's written right there. Sadly, not much on the inside. Moving on from the art space, we find Another art space, a lovely painted library with a perch for a friendly neighborhood cat. The custom artwork on these boxes does a lot to lift gloomy spirits. A big surprise is that across from the box itself are display cases for artwork, which is very nice. There's even a poem by Maya Angelou. And to make everyone feel welcome, there's even a bench to sit on. They really went all out to make people welcome in this area, and this would be a great spot for a rest. But we have no time to rest because we have to go on to the next box. You do have to be careful when walking the streets because some libraries aren't on the official map, like this one, which I only saw by accident. I do love the way that this is carved and painted. It looks fantastic. It's very spacious on the inside, and I feel like I should be leaving some books with me the next time I'm here to help fill it out. To the south of Kensington Road is Hillhurst United Church, and they too have constructed a little free library. And if we look over here, we can see that it's in the shape of the church itself, which I think is neat. Walking around the back reveals the door. Let's see what's inside. A lot of David Baldacci. Oh look, Al Franken. Is that where you've been hiding? I think that's a pretty charming library. I like that it's in the shape of a church. Now that finishes up our time in the Hillhurst Sunnyside area, so now we're going to zip over to Airdrie for a bonus round, because it turns out little free libraries are in fact everywhere. Here's two that are next to the Good Earth coffee shop, and I have usually found some good vintage science fiction finds inside. Not much today though, which is okay. I have plenty of books to read. Down the way is Iron Horse Park, which is an amusement park which operates steam trains on weekends during the summer. They're closed right now, but my understanding is that they may be opening soonish. But right outside the fence is another little free library. This one's a bit plainer, and the wind is about to blow the hinges off this thing. Looking inside, and oh look, another Ian Rankin novel. The great thing about these collections of little free libraries is that they're all within walking distance of each other. This one here in primary colors is the last one on our trip. I even like the door handle. It's a very, very nice touch. Plus, it's clearly labeled. Now, this one had been vandalized in the past, and I know the owners were debating whether or not they were going to fix it up and keep it operating, but I am very, very happy to see that it has been repaired and is serving the community again. Well, I'm sure there's many more we could find. That wraps it up for today. I am more than impressed with the variety of little free libraries that exist in our cities. They are all so different. At the time of recording, COVID-19 is still very much a thing. Be aware I was extra cautious about touching or handling books and the libraries themselves. Be safe, wash your hands. If you get the chance to explore your own neighborhoods, I'd be curious to know what you find.